grade year, my 10th grade year, I was done trying to be a good girl. I was done trying to be a good Christian. I done given up. I realized that I'm a failure at that, and if I try, all I'm going to do is feel awful because I can't do it. And so I had completely given up on trying to be a good girl, being a good Christian. And this was the year that I tried to dye my hair blondes. They say blondes have more fun, so I wanted to see, do they? Do they have more fun? And also, I really think that it's neat that my mom and my stepdad or my brother's dad began to get back together. They didn't get back together like right away. It was kind of like a on again, off again. I don't know. It was weird because I don't remember him living at the apartments. But I remember my mom moved to another town and to a small little rinky dink town, and that's because he got a job where he could, and they remarried during my 10th grade year. I wasn't a part of that, but they did. And I also know that he now had a little baby and with a young girl. And I loved the girl that he had a baby with. I got to know her, and she was a good girl. And I loved this baby too. I felt like she was my sister, even though she's not. We don't have the same mom and we don't have the same dad. So she's not my sister, but I loved this baby girl and I felt like she was my sister. And so, my 10th grade year was the year that I had gone completely wild. And every single weekend, I was at my dad's drinking. I was no longer trying to be a good girl at all. And I do remember the Christmas of my 10th grade year. My cousin got to come to my dad's. And I was so excited about that because I had been to her mom's, I had been to her dad's, and she had been to my mom's, but she had never been to my dad's. And so I was so excited about that. And it was right after Christmas. So it was right before New Year's because I remember we spent New Year's together at my dad's. It was so neat because I was so excited for her to be there. And, you know, I knew a couple guys that were party dudes. And, yeah. I told them to come get us for the New Year's party, and they were like, all right, we'll come pick y'all up and be ready. And then our neighbor, and she was an older lady, and she had a lot of fabrics, just like tons and tons, like a whole bedroom full of fabrics, you know, just like all kinds of fabrics. And so me and my cousin, she just told us to take whatever we wanted. And oh my gosh, we both like got a trash bag full of fabrics, and we brought them to my dad's, and we made outfits with them. And I felt so cool wearing these outfits. Like, they were cool modern day outfits. We cut the fabrics and put them together to make these really cool outfits that we were going to wear to the New Year's party. And you know, my dad, he was always going and getting us alcohol. So if we wanted alcohol, you know, I was like, get us the Boone's Farm. And she was like, we should get some Jack Daniels too. And I was like, okay, let's get some Jack Daniels too. Why not? It's the new year. Let's bring in the new year, right? Well, oh gosh, I don't know if she just wasn't used to drinking that much, you know, being allowed to drink or anything, but that girl, she got bad drunk. She was puking drunk when the boys showed up, and I was like, you know, stop, you know, get better, you know, back then I didn't know that, you know, eat something, drink some coffee, that can help her get better. But I didn't know that back then, and the boys showed up, and they saw her puking drunk, and they were like, well, it looks like y'all already had your party. And I'm like, oh, yeah, but no, I didn't drink that much, and she was just puking, bad drunk, and so it was like, he was like, I'm not taking her, she's not going in my car, and I didn't blame him, and I was like, okay, y'all just go on, we're not going to go to the party. So we didn't get to go to the New Year's party, but she did get better, a little bit better, and then, you know, I had to explain to her that we didn't get to go to the party, and so she was like, screw it, let's just drink, and she started drinking the Boone's Farm, and we put on the countdown timer on the TV so that we could watch it come in. And this was Y2K. I remember this was 2000. This was going from 1999 to 2000, and so I was really amped and pumped, and it's going to be like my first New Year's party, but didn't make it to the New Year's party, and just tried to chill out with her on the couch and watch the ball drop. But yeah, and it did not work out. She ended up passing out before the New Year's, and I just rang in the New Year all by myself, you know? So that's how that went. And then after the New Year, and going back to my grandparents' house, this was the time that I ended up getting into a big fight with my grandfather. My grandfather was only trying, he only wanted the best for me, and he was talking to me about how, my bad girl ways and how I've really lost my way and how he doesn't want to see me that way. And oh gosh, I was not the best person back then, and I pretty much told him off. I was like, "You don't know what it's like to be me. You don't know what it's like to live in the real world. You don't know. I can already be on my own, and I don't need you." And like, I don't know. It's like the way that a drug addict would act if you try to tell them that their drugs are not good for you. They end up attacking you. And that's what I did to my grandfather. And I remember telling him, that I'm grown. I know what I'm doing. I'm almost 16. And there's not going to be any difference between how I am now and how I'm going to be whenever I'm 18. I already know that. And I was wrong. But all that my grandpa did was just kind of hang his head and walk off. I think he was like, what else can I do? And so and I got to where I couldn't stand my grandma. I couldn't stand the sight of her. I could not stand my grandma. I couldn't stand it no more. And yeah, I felt like I needed to go live with my mom. And my mom, she was like, hey, we're now living out in this small country. You might like it better. Things are a lot better now. And, she's now married to my ex stepdad, who's now my stepdad again, I guess. And so, yeah, I figured that it would be better for me to go live with my mom than stay with my grandparents any longer. So I move in with my mother. And they pretty much have his daughter over there like all the time. And she's like this little toddler. And so I just get to watch her like all the time. And it was so much fun. And my mom really wouldn't make dinner or anything, so I would make dinner. And I don't know, I felt like a little Sally homemaker, like I'm preparing to be a homemaker. One day I will be a good homemaker because I have prepared well. I also felt like that over at my dad's whenever I was at my dad's and with the twins. And the twins and this the twins and my stepdad's daughter they're like right at the same age. I think they're just like a year apart. But yeah, they're very close in age. And yeah, and my dad's, because he would never make dinner, so I would make dinner for him. I felt like little Sally homemaker. I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to be a mom so bad. I remember those were always my prayers. Please, Lord, give me a daughter. Please, 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 let me be blessed with a body that can carry a child, I really wanted to be a mom. So practicing to be Sally homemaker was a lot of fun. And then whenever I moved in with my mom, it was just this small rinky-dink town, man. So small, rinky-dink, and they did not accept me at all. Here I am, a 10th grader, and they only accept, they don't really, it's smaller than Valonia, okay? So if Valonia doesn't accept newcomers, there's no way this town's going to accept newcomers, and not me. But I did make some friends, not popular girls, loser girlfriends, and I enjoyed them, and I had a lot of fun with them. Yeah. So at my mother's, I wanted to try out for cheerleading, and she allowed me to try out for cheerleading. And so I did, and I practiced a whole lot, and I couldn't wait. And I didn't make it. They only chose 4 girls. And that was so insulting to me. It was so insulting to only choose 4 girls. And you could have added me, but nope. We would rather have less than a cheer team, not enough girls to even do a cheer stunt, than have you on our team. That's what it felt like. I was like, wow, okay. It was, oh gosh, it hurt my feelings a whole lot. But also during this time at my mother's, I was motivated to get my first job. and I walked just right down the street and worked as a waitress. So my very first job was at a little rinky-dink town. It was called the Wooden Nickel Restaurant. And I was a waitress, and I actually enjoyed that job. It was a lot of fun, and I walked to that job. And I actually kept that job until I got a car. Once I got a car, I was like, I don't need this job no more. I don't know why I thought that, but I did. Well, also, I had a boyfriend, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, yeah, so I got my first job and I was able to get my first car. I saved up $300 to buy my first car, a little Isuzu Stylus. And that's what it was, styleless. And oh my gosh, this girl was crazy with her driving. Oh my gosh, I would zoom around curves going 60. Like I degaffed big time. And yeah, I was very reckless with my driving. Not good, but I was. I also liked to, because this small rinky-dink town, they really didn't accept me, but I've always felt like I was a hot girl anyway. And so I would drive my car to the loser boys' houses and hang out with them. I don't know, I think it made me feel better or something. But yeah, I remember this one boy, his mom was like, oh, there's a girl here to see you. And I was like, yeah. But yeah, we would play video games, and they had four-wheelers, and we'd go four-wheeling in the woods and stuff like that. So I enjoyed doing that once I got my car. And also, once I got my car, I was in the city every single weekend. And you remember that girl that I met that was friends with my cousin who taught me gymnastics? Well, I started going to her house like every weekend. And every single weekend, we were either going to the bowling alley or going to like the movies or going to, I don't know. It didn't matter where we were going, but we were like meeting up with a bunch of teenagers and partying and having fun. And it was a blast, and I loved it. And I met another girl. I met a lot of girls, and this girl, the one thing that I love about her, because in the past, like there's girls, okay, girls, the way that they're friends, they act like you can't be friends with other girlfriends, but I've always felt like the more the merrier. And this girl, that's how she felt too, was the more the merrier. So she would introduce friends to friends. And so you'd always be able to meet someone at her house. And yeah, I ended up meeting someone. And this girl was a cheerleader. And, I told her about how I tried but failed and how I guess I'm just no good at it. And she was like, what? No way. If you really want that, go for it. You've got to go for it if that's what you want. And I was like, I don't know. But at the time, lots of things were going to happen. And she was like, I'll help you and, teach me some things. So I was happy about that and happy to learn about some things. But yeah, so we start partying like all the time on the weekends. And me and my cousin were always partying. My cousin, her mom actually got a divorce from the guy that lived down south. And so now she's living in the city. And so I'd also go to my cousin's house a whole lot too. And so, yeah. Oh my gosh, we would we'd party a lot. Oh gosh, we got into all kinds of trouble. So yeah, I think I'm out of time for today. I just want to say thank you all for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hearing my story. I hope that you're enjoying it so far. And there's a lot more to come. So keep watching. Thank you so much for watching my testimony. I appreciate all of you. I just want to put a disclaimer here at the end. This testimony is based off my memories and how I remember it, and memories can get convoluted, distorted. So maybe not all the details are factual, and it's not a completely factual story, but it's still my story and my truth. And I really appreciate all of you for watching. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching my story. That's all she got.